What is going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Friday afternoon, as you can see, we got the 6.7 tow rig in here. Today we have, unfortunately, some less performance-orientated work, and we have some more maintenance work. If you guys remember back when we did the brakes and all of that, I told you that we needed to do upper ball joints, and it turns out now we have a growling noise coming from the passenger side front wheel, and that is most likely coming from the wheel bearing. So we're going to get this thing jacked up on the one side. We're going to see how much we can get done. We might only do one side today, but we're going to be doing some ball joints. We do have to drive this truck home at the end of tonight, so we're going to get going on that. We also have some fluids that we didn't get last time. We had already changed the differential fluid, the rear differential fluid, and the transmission, the manual trans fluid. We need to do the transfer case and the front diff to kind of complete that fluid change cycle. But that's it. That's what we're doing for this afternoon. We're still waiting on a couple other things. We do have some more powder coat stuff that is done. We can put the cowl tracks back on. He's finishing up the rest of the stuff this weekend. The charge pipes, the bars, and these are for the electric fans. Shocks, I'm hoping, should be here soon, but we can still continue to work on that later. We do have a very busy weekend, non-truck related stuff, a lot of stuff going on, family stuff, obviously being Easter and everything. So we do possibly have a solution to here without really trying to repin anything. It's actually pretty cool. It's something that you don't see that's still going to remain that factory look. So I'm waiting to get some of that. That might be a little while on that, but that's not really going to hinder us from really starting this thing. So still waiting on some tuning stuff, but it's coming along. It's coming along. Anyway, we're not focusing on this today. We need to focus on getting this thing torn down. And I'll take you guys step by step how to change ball joints in these trucks. Not really too terribly hard. And trust me, I know, look at how nasty this is. It actually, I don't know if you can see it out there, but it has been raining all day. I actually told myself, I'm like, before we even do anything in this video, we need to wash the truck. I actually broke out all of the wash stuff, and I was like, we're gonna wash this thing, but it keeps pouring on and off. So we're just gonna get to work. Step one is not removing your wheel, tire, or jacking it up. It is getting out your fresh can of Monster for this episode, or adult beverage, whatever you wanna do, and then we can start. So once you got your two caliper bracket bolts, which you guys know I've showed you last time, the bolts that go right here that hold your entire caliper on, you don't have to undo any of that other stuff, pull the rotor off. Here is your hub bearing. I tried to, you're not going to be able to hear it. It's not really, it was never, you can kind of just feel it. If the bearing has no play in it, but it's definitely making a growling noise. You can just kind of feel it. It feels like it's just kind of, yeah, well, yeah, you guys can't feel it. But anyway, one cotter key, this nut to hold your axle to the wheel bearing. And then you can kind of see behind here, you have 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side. You can kind of see them here on the back side, maybe. There's 1, there's 2. They kind of just sit on the back side of this whole assembly. So 4 bolts. And then you hope that your wheel bearing comes off. And there is the backside of the wheel bearing. Again, it's not that the noise is abnormal, but you can actually feel it. It's rumbly. I don't know how else to explain it, but always a good idea when you're putting this stuff back together, and you can kind of see it back there. Clean all that up, especially clean up this inside ring here, anti-seize on everything. That way it comes apart easier next time. I really didn't have to beat on this thing that hard. I'm going to pull the axle out now, and then you're pretty much at your ball joints. that's it. Gonna pop those new ball joints in. We'll be good to go. I think Mark's gonna come by because my ball joint press is kind of so we're gonna use Mark's ball joint press, and we'll be good to go on this side. We might even start now on draining the ATF out of the transfer case. All right, good buddy Marcus here. He's already trying to take over. We got the tie rod loose that actually has to come down, and we pulled the axle shaft out through the hole, really just a good tug, and it'll come out, and then you undo your bottom nuts from your bottom ball joint, and there's one up top there for the top one. What we did also find is we have, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to tell again, but we got a little stiff joint here. She's getting old. She's old and grumpy, just like Mark. But we got a new one coming of those, so we can do that at the same time. No point in not doing it, even if it wasn't worn out. But we're gonna put a new universal joint in, and then we'll be all set, hopefully. I got finished up the ATF in the transfer case, so that is done. The other thing that I don't know if we're gonna have time for this evening or not, but we do still have to change the front seal on the diff while we're changing the fluid, but we'll see how far we get. Alrighty, one is in. We ended up having to utilize a flat plate to kind of go over these universal kits are not. Comment down below on what kit you guys use to put ball joints in. This is a pretty big master set, but it still takes quite the combination of cups and, you know, assortment of nonsense to get these things in, so you're pressing on the right, spacing's right, so a little bit of an art, but the bottom one is in, snap ring is in. That light's causing this thing to go nuts, but we're gonna pop the top one in now, and then we'll be ready for assembly, and then we have to actually do the U-joint too as well. All right, we're taking a quick break here to take a look at Mark's truck, because he did put the gears on and the NATOs. We got them swapped. Like I said, he swapped the NATOs off of the one set and put them on the gears. Got the spiked lug nuts on there. So Mark's truck has a little bit of a new look. Mark was very upset about having to drive this in the rain, right, Mark?
It was terrible. It was nice and clean.
All right, back to work.
Big thank you to you on that.
Oh, no, big thank you to you. Otherwise, ball joints would never be getting done. Well, guys, it never, ever fails. Went to go put the upper ball joint in, and she's the wrong one. She is the wrong one. So our one-day job, seeing that it is now 7 o'clock, will not be done. But Mark's over here making a whole lot of noise. He's working on the U-joint. What are you doing? You're making a whole lot of noise.
Nice little rusty clips.
So for those of you guys who do not know how to change a U-joint, first step, removing the clips on the inside here. You can kind of see there's the groove where the clip used to be. There is the clip. You just got to hammer out the clips, and then you start socketing it in and out and every which way. So we're gonna work on this now. Alrighty guys, a little bit later on, we made a little bit more progress, but that is pretty much going to wrap up. My keys were right here somewhere. Let me go find my keys. Alright, it is getting late and we actually need to take off. We did not have a lot of time tonight, so it looks like we are driving the first gen home. We're just gonna putz home. We're not gonna do anything crazy. Let me take the bucket here off the stack, seeing that it was raining before. We'll let her warm up and then we'll cruise home. Alrighty guys, good morning. What is going on? We've already utilized the wife wagon to go grab the new ball joint so I could run around a little bit faster. Actually had to go to 2 different places to get it. I'm sure Mark is already at the shop working away, but we are cruising over back in the first gen. This thing does need some tweaking, that is for sure. The idle is definitely too low, and it still wants to actually hang RPM while we're driving, while we're just cruising. So we're gonna have to take care of that. Alrighty, back at the shop, back to finish this guy up. Here we go, moment of truth. That is the one. That is the correct one. Nice and tight. I forgot to mention we are using all pretty much Moog stuff. I know the Carly and Dynatrack ball joints are probably far superior than this when we had that talk. They are also quite a bit of money. I know do it once kind of thing, but we got a lot of other stuff coming down the road that I need to prepare for dollar-wise. Putting the drag truck together has definitely drained some bank account material, but we are going to be using a SKF wheel bearing. These things have been pretty good. I've used these before in the past, but we'll get to that once here we go. These things are good. I actually had to go get a new grease gun and some grease because my grease gun took a crap, but we're going to go ahead and get this one pressed in here and wrap this job up. Alrighty, so just took the truck for a quick test drive. Everything is perfect. It was definitely that passenger front wheel bearing that was causing all of the noise and everything. So everything went smooth. Hopefully you guys learned a couple things. Me, myself, I actually haven't done ball joints that much. So like I said in the beginning of this video, let me know what you guys use, if you guys use something like that master set. I almost want to say Carly, actually, and I'm not sure if they're specific for their ball joints only, but I think they sell, like, you could definitely use like some shorter cups, like some shallower stuff, because by the time there's just not enough travel. If you guys done ball joints before, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But anyway, they're in. We have the one side left to do, which we'll do at a later date. I really kind of jumped to this one just because of that wheel bearing and kind of having to open up that side. So we'll get this side done. We'll get the front diff fluid changed and that rear seal out, or I'm sorry, the front diff seal out as well at a later date. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys where I'm actually going to go upload this right now and then head back to the shop for Sunday's video. So I'll see you guys. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. See you.